What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After Season 7, Episode 9. Let's get into Sumit and Jenny. So, Sumit plans on meeting with his family, much to Jenny's disappointment. She wants Sumit to basically give his family the middle finger, just say F off to his parents, and she wants them to live their own life, just the two of them, without worrying about his damn family. But Sumit has this need to reconcile with his parents, and it is getting on Jenny's nerves so much. But Jenny, you've been dealing with this ever since you met this man. The fight with the family has been going on since you landed in India. I've been reviewing Sumit and Jenny for however long they've been on the 90 Day franchise. Of course, we met them in the beginning when they were on 90 Day Fiance the other way, when Jenny had planned to move to India and live permanently in India. And ever since then, I've been telling Jenny the same thing for the past 2 years or however long it's been. Jenny, pack your bags and go back home. Stop playing around. Stop fooling around with Sumit. This is not for you. Pack your bags and go back home. It's not an issue of him being so much younger. It's not an issue of you living in a foreign country. It's the fact that you are being used by this person and you don't even know it. Pack your bags and go back home. I've been telling her this since day one, and she has yet to listen. So he wants to go meet his parents to resume some type of communication with them, at least. Sumit says that they're my parents and they love me in a way that no one else can. Okay, that's obvious. That's a given. Sumit says that the American way is to just give up on your parents. If they don't accept your lifestyle, if they don't accept who you are or who you're with, what we do in America is we're just like, okay, whatever, forget you. I'm going to go on and live my life. But he says in India, it's different. You don't cut off family because they don't accept who you're with or how you're living. You have to try to, I guess, make it right. So he went to go meet his parents. When he arrived, he was expecting to see his mom and dad there, but they didn't even bother to show up. They are not fooling with Sumit. As long as he's with Jenny, mom and dad are not fooling with Sumit, period. So instead, he sees his brother, his sister-in-law, and his mother's sister, his aunt. So the aunt is there to speak for the parents. The aunt tells Sumit that your mother is walking around here looking like she's drunk or high because her eyes are red. She's constantly crying over this whole entire Jenny situation, and you need to make it right. Sumit says that his family, they're just going to have to accept it. He's not going to give up Jenny. He says that he's happy. He's happier now than he was in his previous marriage. And they're just going to have to accept it because he's happy. And whenever he's with his family, he's always fighting for his relationship with Jenny. He's defending Jenny, defending his marriage to Jenny, just constantly like letting them know, hey, this is how it's going to be. I love her. She loves me. We're together. You just have to deal with it. But then whenever he's with Jenny, he's fighting for his relationship with his parents. And he's trying to convince her, I have to be with my parents. My parents are important to me. I need to make up with my parents, constantly. So it's kind of like, this is the reason why I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on with Sumit, because Sumit is very, very cunning. He's extremely cunning, and he is playing, he's so manipulative. I haven't quite figured him out yet. I thought I did. I thought that because his mother is such a hardcore woman, his mother is so dominant. She's, very, she's like the matriarch of the family. Everybody bows down to her. It's her way or the highway. Nobody goes against, the mother at all. The husband bow downs to her. The children bow down to her. So I thought that maybe because of that, this is the reason why Sumit really needed to have his parents' approval again, and he needed to be back in their good graces. But I don't think that's quite the reason why. So then they have a conversation about children, the fact that Jenny cannot give him any children. And, the parents are being harassed by their family and friends because Sumit married this much older woman. And it's very shameful to the family. It's very embarrassing to the family. And he brought all this shame to the family. And so the aunt was like, she can't even give you a child. There's no future with her. She can't even give you children. And then Sumit says that he will have kids in the future. And I said, by who? What kids? From where? Like real human children? And so he plans on having children some way, somehow with Jenny. He talks about possibly adoption or possibly using a surrogate. The brother and the sister-in-law say that Jenny is just way too old to raise children. She's too old to be on her feet, running after small children all day, which is true. I mean, maybe she is, but she's not like an invalid. I'm pretty sure she could still make it. This is the part that got me though. Okay, you want to adopt. First of all, Jenny's not going to go for that. Jenny has raised her children. She's at that age now where, people her age are just enjoying grandchildren. They're not here to raise any more babies. They've done their part. They're through with that. They just want to spend happy moments with their grandchildren. And then when the grandchildren get on their nerves, they send them back to their parents. That's the age that she's at. She's not up for midnight feedings, changing diapers all day, naps, crankiness, all of that, because there's a lot of young people that are not, down for that either. So Sumit says that he really doesn't want kids, but he's willing to have them for his parents. So this is his next scheme. Okay, this is what I mean when I say that Sumit is a con artist. He's always looking for the next scheme. Let's not forget, when he met Jenny, he catfished her. He completely catfished her. Then when she realized who he really was, when he finally revealed his true identity, she should have given him the boot then, but she didn't. She was like, oh, okay, he's still cute. He's still attractive. It's okay that he catfished me, that he completely lied to me. He completely deceived me. He made up a whole new identity to try to get me. But that's all. That's fine. That's okay because he's still cute and adorable. So she stuck with it. Then he lied to her about being married, having a wife already. Then so that was the whole thing. He lied to his parents about what type of relationship that he really had with Jenny. He told his parents that him and Jenny were just friends. Come to find out, there were more than that. When it was time for him and Jenny to get married and they went to the lawyer's office to get the documents for their marriage certificate, I forgot exactly what he did. It was last season. I forgot what he did, but he did something with the documents, or he forgot to do something with the documents. So something was going on. I think he had to turn them in by a certain time, but he didn't. I think he had a deadline and he was so close to missing the deadline. And so it was kind of like he really didn't want to marry her because he wasn't turning in the paperwork on time. He is so full of games and cons and schemes. So the next scheme is to just have a kid to appease his parents. So then that made me kind of think to myself, okay, why is it so important for him to have his parents' approval? Why can't he just live with Jenny happily ever after? And it's not him choosing not to be around his parents. It's his parents choosing not to be around him. His parents are the ones that have terminated the relationship. So if that's your parents' decision, just live with it. Just stay with Jenny in India and just live with it and be happy with Jenny. But he's not. He's constantly trying to go back to his parents, trying to have them forgive him, get back in their good graces, restart his relationship with them. Why can't you just be happy with Jenny? And so I think I kind of figured it out, but I'm not really sure, but I'll talk about it after this. So Sumit comes back home. He tells Jenny how it all went, that his parents wouldn't even bother to meet him. So he talks about how his parents are being harassed by family members or neighbors because, their son married such an old American woman. Jenny's solution is, you know what, let's forget about India and just go live in America, because in America, my family accepts you. My family loves you. We're not going to have to go through this whole thing about, being disowned and people not approving of our relationship. We're not going to have to worry about. We just need to go to America. She talks about how she sacrificed so much for him. It's about time he sacrifices something for her. Well, to let him tell it, he's probably saying, I sacrificed a lot for you too, because my parents have disowned me. Sumit says that he doesn't think that moving to America is going to be the solution because his parents will still hate him, even if he's living in America. His goal is to reconcile with his parents. So he says that the parents will be more upset because they're going to see Jenny as the woman that took our son away from us. So he thinks that the solution is having a child, but he hasn't told Jenny that yet. So this is my opinion, or this is my current running theory on Sumit. I think with Sumit, maybe he's in fear of being disinherited from his parents, and he's worried that he's going to lose his inheritance. And that's why he's trying so hard to fixed his relationship with his parents. But he doesn't want to let Jenny go because he wants his parents to take him back, accept Jenny, because I think Sumit wants to live a non-traditional Indian life, but he doesn't want to live like, he doesn't want to be like in a traditional marriage with Jenny. Okay, hear me out. So I think that he's using Jenny as as a cover. He's using Jenny as a cover. I think deep down inside, Sumit just wants to be free and single and do whatever the hell he wants to do. But maybe in India, he can't do that. Maybe in India, you get a lot of pressure from your family to get married and have children. Just running around as a bachelor, wilding out in the streets of India as a bachelor, maybe it's not accepted. I don't know. I have no idea. That's my guess. So he has to have a wife so that his parents can stop pressuring him to marry someone he really would not want to marry. So he's going to use Jenny. But the problem is they don't accept Jenny. But as long as he can try to get them to accept Jenny, they're not going to pressure him to get another type of wife where he's going to have real responsibilities, because Jenny takes care of him. If he has a traditional Indian wife, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him to care for her, to have children with her. And he doesn't want that kind of lifestyle. He doesn't want to be a provider. He doesn't want to be a father. He doesn't want to live like that. So Jenny is taking care of them, because I haven't seen Sumit going to work. So Jenny's taking care of them right now financially. He doesn't have to worry about providing for her. And she's older, doesn't have to worry about having children with her. And as long as his parents are on board, he's got it made. He can keep his parents in his life, secure his inheritance, live with a woman who can't have any children, so he doesn't have to worry about being a father and taking care of little ones. And now he's talking about starting his own business, and he wants to work 6 to 7 days a week. He wants to be away from the home. So once he secures that, then his plan is complete. He has his parents, he has his inheritance, he has a woman that's also taking care of him, won't have any children, doesn't have to worry about that. And he's going to have this job, supposedly, where he's going to be gone a lot, so he can still kind of live free, do whatever the hell he wants, because who knows what he's really going to be doing out there. He's going to live free, do whatever the hell he wants, hang out with his boys, under the guise of running a business, and he's going to have the best of all 7 worlds. That's what I think is going on with Sumit. I think the reason why it's important for him to reconcile with his parents is for money. He's with Jenny for money, and also for a cover to not marry a traditional Indian woman who's going to expect a lot from him. And he's going to be able to do whatever he wants, spend his time doing whatever the hell he wants once he gets his business up and running. I don't know if that made any sense, but I think that's what's really going on with Sumit. He's a con artist. He's conning his parents. He's conning Jenny. He's just a con artist. Jenny, go home. This is the 2nd year in a row I'm telling you to pack your bags and please go back to America. Moving on to Usman and Kim. So when we see Usman and Kim, they're still at the mother's home, and Kim is still trying to defend herself by saying that she was not bribing the mother. She wasn't trying to bribe the mother with the cow or the bull. So she tries to, argue her case and say, look, it's not a bribe, that they need to get to know her for her. Whatever happened with Lisa, baby gal Lisa, that's got nothing to do with her. She is not Lisa, and it's not fair for them to judge her based on Usman's past experience with baby gal Lisa. So mommy says that Usman must marry a woman from their region, and that wife has to be the first wife. So then, okay, here we go. Okay, excuse me, they keep flipping the script on Jenny like it's somebody's business. So not only does she have to accept another wife, she has to accept being the second wife. Okay, she can no longer be the first wife. So the mother says, look, the only way that I'm going to accept you marrying Kim is, number one, you have to marry a Hausa girl, a Hausa woman from our region who can give you children. And then you can marry Kim and do whatever the hell you want to do with your American woman. But the first wife has to be a Hausa girl. Otherwise, they're not going to accept the proposal. So Usman tells this to Kim. Obviously, she doesn't like it. The negotiations go absolutely nowhere. The mom is tired. She's done. She's through with it all. So she says, kindly apologize to her and tell her to leave my damn house. So the mom is done. She gets up. She leaves. Kim is not going to accept being the second wife. So on the way to the hotel, they talk about what happened. Usman is proud that Kim restrained herself because, Kim could have been wilding out in there. She could have gotten up and stormed out of the house, but she restrained herself, so he's really proud of her, and he's going to reward her with some double yummy. Let's talk about this yummy business. I am so sick and tired of Usman using yummy as some type of a reward, like whenever she behaves or when she does something that pleases him, he wants to reward her with being intimate with her. And he uses the yummy like it's like a dog treat, like, oh, good girl, you want some yummy? You want some yummy tonight? Good girl. That's how he does it. And it's like getting on my nerves. People do that, because they're in love. They're attracted to one another. They want to express desire, express love to one another. It's not to be used as a reward to your fiance or the woman that you claim you want to marry. It's like disgusting how he does that. Usman says that due to the respect and love that he has for his mother, he cannot go against her. So he's going to have to listen to his mother and take another woman as the first wife. And then Kim could be, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't really matter. Kimberly refuses to be the second wife. Usman says that as long as they're married, it really doesn't matter what order she comes in, as long as they're married and they're together. Usman wants to meet with his mother again because he thinks he can try to convince his mother, but he believes that, this is the thing that got me. Usman believes that even if his mom still refuses to give the blessing for Kim being the first wife, Kim is going to accept being number 2 because she wants to be with him so damn bad that she's going to end up just accepting it. The next day, Usman talks about how, they've been in this relationship for 2 years and he doesn't want to give up on her now. He's invested just way too much time for them just to break up because Kim doesn't want to follow Hausa tradition or Nigerian tradition. So Usman tells her that, so they're talking, right? They go outside and I guess like at a restaurant or something. They're sitting at the table. Some guy comes up to give him a mani-pedi, and Kim is frustrated because she wants to have a serious conversation with him, but he's like being distracted by his feet and nails getting done. And so, but anyways, they get back on track. Usman tells her that, I don't know how it started, but anyways, the conversation came down to him telling her that I've compromised more than you. You need to compromise something for me. Like, let's not give this up just because you have to be wife number 2. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Just be wife number 2. Let's just do it, because the important thing is that we're still going to be together. Obviously, she doesn't want to hear any of that. She goes, I didn't come all the way over here to be your second wife. I was promised to be the first wife. It's funny to me how Kim... It's funny to me how, at first Kim was absolutely against him taking on another wife. Absolutely against it. Was not going to put up with it. Now, here she is just fighting to be wife number 1. Okay, not only has she accepted he's going to have multiple wives, but now she's just like, I just want to be wife number 1. I don't care how many other wives you get. I just want to be wife number 1. So she's like, it was promised to me to be not wife number 1, and I'm not going to be wife number 2, because she says all her life and all her relationships, she's always been second to somebody. I'm like, second to who, girl? Like, what do you mean? You've been dealing with men who've had other women and made you second? Because she says in all of her relationships, she's never been the number 1 priority. So she's not going to put up with that anymore. So he's like upset with her because she just won't compromise. And that's when he talks about, I'm always compromising for you. You never compromise for me. And then that's when he says, I have, my DMs are full of beautiful, sexy women. And I chose against beauty to go for love. I rejected beauty to go for love. And so Kim was like, so what are you trying to say? I'm ugly now? So there's no way for him to get out of that. He can't dig himself out of that hole. So then she gets upset, she's offended, and she gets up and she's like, you know what, maybe you should just go be with all these other beautiful women. And so then she gets up and she leaves. So Usman, he's talking to the camera, he's talking to himself. I don't know who he's talking to. And he's like, you know what, he doesn't need this. His DMs are full of beautiful, sexy, rich women. And if she breaks up with him, who's really being the loser? He says, she's 51, I'm 33, so who's really losing if she breaks up with me? And what can she give me that is comparable to a child? She's back in the hotel room. She's crying her eyes out, talking again how she doesn't need it, she don't need it, she don't need it. But she ain't going nowhere. Kim is not going anywhere. She's going to cry. She's going to throw a fit. He's going to find her. They're going to talk it out. He's going to promise her some Miami. And they'll be right back on track. Anywho, moving on. Kim, pack your bags and go home, but you ain't going to listen. Michael and Angela. So they're still at their meeting. And so Angela says that she didn't even want to meet with this man. She's like, I didn't even want to meet with him. I'm only doing this because Renee pressured me into it. So Michael explains why he has to have an Instagram account. He says that he needed the money. She wasn't sending him any money or not enough money. So he had to make money somehow. So he says that he started his Instagram account back up because he wants to be an influencer, because you can get paid a lot of money being an influencer. Angela's not buying it because of the fact that he's blocked her from his Instagram account. She is absolutely not buying it. She goes, if that's all it was, you wouldn't block me. So because you blocked me, you're on Instagram because you're trying to hook up with other women. He denies it. She loses her mind. She calls him out of his name, calls him a bitch. She gets up, she kicks the table, she's yelling at him. She says to him, if you had an Instagram account, do you think I would still marry you? He said no. So she's upset. She walks off. I don't know what the hell she does. It's just an absolute mess. So then he tells her, oh no, she doesn't walk off. She's still there. So then he tells her, but look, you have TikTok and you're out there duetting with this other guy and you're flirting with this other guy on TikTok and I'm not saying anything. But then you're having a problem with me having an Instagram account. And she says, you know what, you're right, because if it was the other way around, if I saw you on TikTok flirting with somebody else or duetting somebody else, I'd be upset. But the reason why I'm on TikTok flirting with this other dude and duetting with this other dude is because you absolutely gave me no attention after I lost all this weight. You didn't compliment me on nothing. I went through this major surgery, turned my life upside down for you. I can't eat what I want. I can't eat how much I want. I'm constantly hungry. And you can't even throw me a compliment to say that I look good or I look better or I'm glad you're doing it for your health. Of course, I'm embellishing. So that's why she got on TikTok with this other dude, because she was trying to make him jealous and she was trying to get his attention. Then she threatens to pull his visa. She says she went to go talk to the lawyer. The lawyer told her, hey, if you're not happy with him, you can file for a divorce and pull the visa. So Michael is sitting there thinking about, is this worth going to America? No, Michael, it's not. It's not. We've been trying to tell you this since day one. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're going to go to America. You're going to go live. I don't know where she's from. I have no idea where she's from. You're going to go live in that town. And I'm pretty sure they're going to give you the blues. You got all those grandkids running around that you're going to have to help take care of because one of the moms is in jail. So, no, Michael, you don't want this. You don't want this. Stop it, Michael. I don't know if his plan is to get to America and then to, leave her and go be with. No. Stop it. Go back to square one. Go back to the drawing board, Michael. This is not what you want. This is not for you. Angela, the same thing. This is not what you want. I don't know what else to say for them except just leave each other alone. Both of y'all need to start the hell over. Bilal and Shaida. When we see them, they're starting off with 5 a.m. prayers because it's the first day of Ramadan. So, okay, with the Muslims, we all know when they're in Ramadan, they fast the entire day from sunup to sundown. And then after that, they can have their meal. And so I think the first day of Ramadan is special. So, they're preparing dinner because Shaida has invited his family to have dinner with them on the first day of Ramadan. Okay, so while she sends Bilal out to the store to go get some milk or something, and while he's gone, the producers ask Shaida, "So where are y'all at on the whole baby situation?" And Shaida says that that's a forbidden topic. They just don't talk about babies at all. But she's hoping that when the family comes over, that she can somehow convince Bilal's family to convince Bilal to start, to go ahead and start having babies with Shaida. So the family comes over. They have dinner after, the small talk or whatever. The sister says, "So, y'all have been married now for however many, whatever. And so what's the next plan for you guys?" And so Shaida says, "Well, hopefully we'll be able to start a family." And here comes Bilal. "We already got a family." So then Bilal asks his sister, "How old were you when you had your first child?" The sister says, "I was 43 years old when she had her first child." So to him, he's like, "Oh, Shaida's got plenty of time. What's the rush?" So he says to his sister, "So you had a good 6 years, being child free." And I guess he's trying to convince Shaida that, hey, we have time. My sister had her baby when she was 43 years old. So we got all the time in the world, right? So Bilal says that they can at least wait 3 years. And so Shaida is just like, just her mind is just completely like blown. The fact that he can talk about this as if they have the time, knowing what the doctor told them, that her egg reserve is extremely low and her chances every month get less and less and less. So she has a chance to talk to the sister and the mom alone. She tells them that they went to the fertility doctor. She got some tests done. The test came back that her egg reserve was low, and that by the time she reaches 40, she's going to have less than a 5% chance of having a baby. So the mom and the sister are like, "Oh my God, that's horrible." So the mom was like, "When you got your results, was Bilal there?" Because then the mom can't believe that Bilal is still trying to push back this baby making time. So she's like, "There's no way Bilal had heard the same news that you heard and he still wants to wait." And so Shaida's like, "Yeah, he was there. He heard everything that I heard." So the mom says, "Well, then y'all are just going to have a conversation about this." Like, no, duh, mom. No, duh. But I think Shaida's plan was to have the mother talk to her son and convince Bilal that they need to start now as opposed to later when it comes to having children. So the mom, all she can say is, yeah, y'all are going to have a conversation. Bilal that's another con artist. He conned Shaida into signing a prenuptial agreement that had a baby clause in it, that they would have a baby by the time she's 40, knowing damn well he was going to try to postpone them having children. He's going to push it back for however long he possibly could because he doesn't want any children with her. He wants to keep waiting until her fertility completely runs out. Then he's going to act all devastated. "Oh man, Shaida, I'm just so disappointed that we couldn't have no damn babies." Knowing damn well he didn't want no kids with her to begin with. He's another con artist. Moving on to Jovi and Yara. So they're leaving for Europe. They're getting ready to leave. And I thought it was just so adorable how Mila is so attached to Jovi's mom. When they were at the airport, because the mother dropped them off at the airport, and when Yara was taking Mila didn't want to let grandma go. She wanted grandma to still hold her. So Mila and her grandma, they have a very, very close relationship. But that's fine because Mila, you have a whole nother grandmother to get to know in Europe, and she's going to be just as lovable as your American grandmother. So Yara's really excited as they're driving to the airport. She's talking about, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm leaving America. I'm so glad I'm leaving America." And I'm like, okay, your mother-in-law and your husband probably love hearing you say that. She hasn't seen her mom in 2.5 years, so she's really excited about seeing her mom again. And they're not going to go into her home country. They're going to go to Prague, where her mother is staying. And of course, the grandmother is very worried about them. And she tells them, "Look, when I text you, you need to text me back," because she wants to make sure that they're doing okay. So they arrive in Europe, and they arrive in Prague. Yara is so happy to be back in Europe. And her mother is there to meet them. And After they've showered and eaten and all of that, they go downstairs to the lobby area, I guess, of the hotel, and they're having drinks, and the baby's there, Mila's there with them, and Mila has already taken to her new grandmother. So Yara was telling Jovi, oh, she's already taken to my mom. They're the best of friends. They went for a walk. So Mila's very comfortable with her. So Jovi says, well, we need to take her back to Louisiana with us. Maybe she can be our full-time babysitter. And so Yara tells her mom that. She translates that to her mother. And the mom is like, well, I don't know about that, but I could definitely be a full-time grandmother here in Prague. And so Yara and her mom are talking about the possibility of Yara staying in Europe longer than expected. But she's not translating that to Jovi. So Jovi's like trying to figure out what the hell they're talking about. But I guess this is something that she's considering. I don't know if this is just for a storyline, so that we can be on pins and needles. Oh my God, is Yara going to stay in Europe, or is she going to go back to the United States? I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I really don't care. Once she makes up her mind of what she wants to do, wake me up. Moving on to, I got to keep track of all of this because there's so many couples. Jovi and Yara, Usman and Kim. Oh, them two. I guess they're next. Ed and Liz. Lord have mercy. I don't want to talk too much about Ed and Liz. Ed and Liz, I think their problem is alcohol. When they get to drinking, they get to fighting. They say really horrible, nasty things to each other. He calls her a lesbian. She talks about his anatomy being underwhelming. I think for them, it's the alcohol. Ed has a lot of insecurities, and she plays on those insecurities. She uses those insecurities against him. He says he's done with her. He doesn't want nothing to do with her. She found the ring, thank God. She went back in the bushes. She found the damn ring, gave him back the ring. He says it's over, it's done. He doesn't want to be with her. He says, I've given up my mother and my daughter for her, and now she won't even be in my life. So, I have nobody now. Well, that's the decision you made, Ed. And so, how do you cry over somebody like Ed? How are you crying over Ed? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How are you crying over Ed? Ed is mean. Ed is so mean. He was also kind of mean to the Filipino girl. Ed is mean. And the things, then Liz said something about, oh, you were drunk and you were talking about how you wanted to sleep with my friend Alex. And okay, y'all broke up. Y'all are broken up, so there's nothing left to say. He says he's done with her. It seems like she's done with him. I don't know what else to say about these people. Good luck on y'all's future endeavors. I don't know. Thank you so much for joining me in this review. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.